Here are all the ingredients you'll need for this pumpkin chickpea curry. I'm using a traditional sugar pumpkin, also known as a pie pumpkin. It's one of those medium-sized pumpkins. Don't get the large ones. Those are used for carving faces into on Halloween. They don't have much flavor. Don't use them. But if you don't want to use a regular pumpkin, you could also use a different winter squash. Butternut squash would be great, so would kabocha squash, that is my personal favorite, or red curry squash, which is also known as Hokkaido pumpkin. Cutting a pumpkin can be very tricky, so be sure to use a sharp knife. If the pumpkin is still too hard to stab with a knife, that sounded scarier than I intended, then just pop the pumpkin in the microwave for 2 minutes to soften it up a bit. Once it's sliced, scoop out all the seeds and that sticky gunk. If you're trying to reduce food waste, which is always a good idea, hold on to the seeds and roast them in the oven. To easily peel the pumpkin, cut each half into large wedges, and then use a vegetable peeler. Chop each wedge into large pieces. And since this is a pumpkin chickpea curry, I'm also using chickpeas. I'm using the whole dried chickpeas instead of the canned variety for a few reasons. One, if you eat a lot of beans, you probably fart a lot. That's just a fact that's not really relevant to this recipe. But if you do eat a lot of beans, you're going to save money over the long run if you opt for the whole dried variety instead of the canned one. So, money saving tip. And number two is that with the Instant Pot, you're going to have a better texture with the chickpeas, and they're not going to really fall apart if you use the whole dried version instead of the canned version, which is already cooked. You do need to soak the whole dried chickpeas for about 8 hours or overnight to soften them up, so that means you only need to cook them in the Instant Pot for 10 minutes instead of like 40 minutes. But if you do forget to soak the chickpeas, which is something I often do not worry, you're not totally out of luck. There are 2 different ways to do a quick soak of chickpeas, and I've included instructions in the description box below. I always start any kind of curry by sautéing aromatics in oil. This step is really important because it unlocks certain flavor compounds in the ingredients that might otherwise not be released, so be sure to not skip this step. This is a Thai-inspired curry, so the aromatics I'm using are scallions or green onions, garlic, ginger, and Thai chili peppers. If you're sensitive to spicy food, omit the chili peppers because there's already some heat in the curry paste. I'm using unrefined coconut oil as my choice of oil because I love that coconutty taste in curries. But if you want a neutral flavor, use a refined coconut oil or another neutral flavored oil of your choice. The aromatics just need about 90 seconds or 2 minutes to get golden and fragrant. Next, you'll add the curry paste. I'm using red curry paste, and you can find bottled or jarred curry paste in most grocery stores in the ethnic aisle of the grocery store, also known as the most delicious aisle of the grocery store. The 2 brands for curry paste I recommend are Thai Kitchen and Thai Taste. I've dropped a link to both in the description box below. They're both vegan and made with simple, clean ingredients, no added sugars. You'll saute the curry paste for just 30 to 45 seconds until it's really aromatic and smells amazing. After the curry paste, you'll just dump in the remaining ingredients into the Instant Pot. The peeled and chopped pumpkin, the soaked chickpeas, along with lots of canned light coconut milk. The reason I'm using light coconut milk instead of the full-fat variety is because I'm using 2 whole cans of this stuff. It's the only liquid in there, and 2 whole cans of full-fat coconut milk would feel pretty heavy. I'm sure it would be really delicious and super decadent, but it's still really good with 2 cans of light coconut milk without being overwhelming. I'm also adding some tamari, which is gluten-free soy sauce, and this is what's going to give it the saltiness and the umami flavors. I am using a reduced sodium version that helps me control the sodium a little more. If you do use a normal version, or if you use soy sauce, which tends to be a tiny bit saltier than tamari, be sure to adjust accordingly to your taste. Finally, I add a bit of coconut sugar. A good Thai curry is well balanced in flavors, and the sweetness really balances out the spiciness of the curry and the earthiness of the pumpkin. Then you'll hit the cancel button and seal the Instant Pot lid and make sure the pressure release knob is set to sealing, not venting. Then you're going to select the pressure cook setting. Then set the timer to 10 minutes. Once the timer is done, allow the pressure to release naturally for 10 to 15 minutes. Open the pot and give the curry a stir. At this point, I usually add some fresh cilantro leaves and some lime juice, which both really brighten up the flavors and add some freshness. The lime juice helps balance the saltiness, sweetness, and spiciness of the curry, but I ran out of limes when I made this video, so that's why I'm not adding it here, but I do recommend you do that at home. I hope you enjoyed this recipe for an Instant Pot vegan pumpkin chickpea curry. If you did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.